Hey, welcome to day 66, Emotional Freedom Wednesday of my spiritual journal with me, with your soul sister, Iona. Welcome to the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, where we're going to talk about everything that is spiritual business success without doing busy work, without being broke, and without experiencing burnout. Can I get an amen? And we're going to talk about the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. I have set myself that challenge. If you're part of the challenge, then welcome. If you have no idea what I mean about the challenge, and we're going to take our spiritual journal and journal out the process of planning spiritual business success in our spiritual journal. Spiritual business success for me means work-life balance. I like to say light work balance in every single area of your life. That is what I use my spiritual journal for. And I call my spiritual journal, as the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy, the Soul Legacy Journal. This is a notebook, and I call it 365 Days of Your Spiritual Awakening Story, a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers, because that is what we're all about, moving from that spiritual awakening, which is just rude, the dark night of the soul, all of the emotions, because it's Emotional Freedom Wednesday, although I haven't got my yellow top, which stands for emotional freedom. It represents emotional freedom, because I've literally just done my insanity workout. More on that in a second. And so I like to segment my day to come onto this live, and rather than getting ready and putting makeup on and I'm waiting for foundation and stuff, I'm like, let me just go live. So rather than going through the dark night of the soul and all of the rest of it on your own, this is what the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast is for. If you've gone through a spiritual awakening story, spiritual awakening, and you want to share your spiritual awakening story, I do have a co-author book series where we'll be sharing, as part of the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. Spiritual YouTubers will be coming on and sharing their story on the Soul Legacy TV on book launch day, as well as in the book co-authoring. I have a 7-year co-author book series, which I would love to see if you are so much too. I have a masterclass explaining about the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge and sharing about your spiritual awakening story. For me, I was bankrupt, which was one of my spiritual awakenings. I was homeless. That was all the things, every area that you could think of, grief, all the things, relationships, that I went through an awakening. And I believe that it's time to come out from behind closed doors and be visible and actually speak our truth and support our soul tribe, and contribute in the world, and actually go on a journey where we're building a spiritual business that is giving the energy and receiving the energy in, I call that cheers to financial freedom, emitting that frequency and being okay with that. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not about to go out and get a soul sucking day job, because it doesn't make me feel good. And anything that is not making me feel amazing, I'm just not doing. So that is all I wanted to say about that. Oh, and also I'm the host of the #1 Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit, where I will be interviewing fellow YouTubers, spiritual YouTubers, on their spiritual awakening story. And we have the Spiritual Ascension After Show Party and the Spiritual Alchemy Giveaway. So all of that said to raise our vibration in every single area of our life. So with that said, I usually come live. I don't say, oh, it has to be at this time. Right now I'm doing an 11:11. And so my daughter, Mia, she's 19, she just messaged me. She did me a screenshot of 11:11. She knows I go live, but she just said, enjoy your live. And she sent me an 11:11. All of the things that we do, our offspring or our family or the people around us, how we manage ourselves emotionally, how connected we feel to source, how guided we feel, affects each of all the people that are around us. So on the Soul Legacy TV, I talk about launching your legacy, leaving your legacy, and leading your legacy every single day. Launching your day, leading your day, and leaving your day. That is your legacy, and I love it. So with the spiritual journal, we're going to talk about everything legacy, and we're going to talk about Emotional Freedom Wednesday. And I'm not going to lie, it feels a little bit weird not to have my yellow t-shirt on, but we're going to go there anyway. Good morning, Robin. Thank you so much for joining me. So Robin, not of the Energy Healing TV podcast, if you don't know, Robin is our lead soul guided instructor in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, and also for the Soul Legacy Academy. which I'm the founder of and the producer of. So thank you, Robin, for joining me, as you do nearly every day, or I would say every day. I would say nearly every day I try and join you. Robin also has a collective energy clearing call, which I totally missed. It's on the first Tuesday of the month, I believe, at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. East. Oh, is it Eastern? 4 p.m. Eastern? Oh, I remember my calls. 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe, and if I've butchered it, Robin will tell you. But anyway, subscribe to Robin's YouTube channel. She talks about all things clearing and healing around your chakras, your energy, and aligning and balancing, which is obviously goes with Emotional Freedom Wednesday, because like all the things need balancing, your energy needs clearing, all the triggers, all the trauma, all the things. And so I want to talk today about emotions, but particularly hormones. And I tend to have whatever is going on in my life, I want to share it with you. So fellas, if you're listening and you have a lady, you have a daughter, you have all the things, women around you, this applies to you as well, because understanding a woman and her hormones is going to help you out. A woman understanding her hormones and her emotions and how that affects them, whether you're of a certain age or whether you're on a cycle or not, it matters. And what aha moment came to me is, oh my gosh, with my spiritual business and the success of it, when I am feeling hormonal, and by the way, too much information, my cycle came just before I decided to work out, which was about an hour ago. I was like, is it coming sooner? Is it, where is it? Is it here? I've been eating different. I've been feeling funky all week. I'm like, what in the time to leading up? I'm like, what is this? Looked in the mirror, felt amazing. I was like, oh, damn girl, you got it going on. I felt amazing. I was like, my body feels like normal. Instantly, it appears. And that right there, for spiritual business success, when you are a woman of, just a woman, girl, experiencing hormones, whether it is because of perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, all the things, or even like having a baby, whatever it is, those hormones are a real thing that you need to learn to manage and be in tune with. Fortunately, I am, and I try not to make major decisions around that time. We're doing the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, which is going to stretch over a period of time when you have hormones, when you might feel like quitting, you might feel like I'm not doing this right, you might feel, I just want you to chart out when that's going to be and actually acknowledge it. So I did my workout. I set a newish routine. It's a newish routine, but I've set a different time to do my workout, as I was talking about. If you've watched my previous live, all this to say, just to set up today. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it at this time, and I'm going to go for a run after anyway, and then Robin's going to be doing her live. And so I was like, let me just do this at this time. And then I was like, let me just hoover. Let me just, I did a couple of other things in between, and I was like, no, I won't have, I knew I wouldn't, when I started, I know how long it's going to be. I knew I wouldn't have time to change into my yellow t-shirt and then say, hey, this is me on the Soul Legacy TV, and put the makeup on and put the lipstick on and do all the things. And I'm like, I don't really care. If you know me, you'll know that I show up raw and real. So I don't mind. I don't wear a lot of makeup anyway. I need some foundation. So when it's a certain time of the month, don't know about you, I've got like a scar. I scar really easy. I've got a scar from either the last time or the time before of that cycle. A literally scar. And I was like a bit more conscious of it. I'm like, gosh, you know, because I don't get spots very often, but your skin changes, you feel a different way, all of the things, and it's okay. So I wanted to show up and just say, do you know what? Here's me. We're going to do Emotional Freedom Wednesday. I feel amazing. I feel high vibe. I got up, did my thing, but I crashed last night, and because I have a tired day, an emotional day, and another day that I can't say it on live, but ladies, you'll probably feel me, and guys, you'll probably feel the lady, because it's around the only time that you want to get some. So those kind of days. So I'm single right now, but anyway, I usually get a tired day, so I crashed last night and I missed Robin's call, so I wanted to publicly apologize and say, Robin, you're amazing. Robin says, oh, she's amazing. Mia, yeah, she is amazing. Mia bought me this week, she bought me a blanket. I was like, oh, thank you. It's Emotional Freedom Wednesday, so let's talk about emotions. How are you feeling? Robin says, you're right, 4 p.m. Eastern. Boom. Can I get an amen? So 4 p.m. Eastern, it's 5 hours before me. Do the maths. Newish routine. So, excuse me, I say newish because I've done some version of this routine like for years. However, with intentional living, with Emotional Freedom Wednesday, it feels weird not having my yellow t-shirt on. With Emotional Freedom Wednesday, it's part of 7 freedoms that I share on the Soul Legacy TV. I talk about contribution freedom, spiritual business success, doing your light work in the world, building a business online, doing your book, your podcast, your YouTube channel, your speaking, getting out featured out there, all the things that you do online. Health freedom, so you want to be looking after yourself, not being busy, broken, burnt out, right? Health freedom, emotional freedom, which is today, and environmental freedom. I want to travel while I teach, relationship freedom, spiritual freedom, and financial freedom. So that I talk about, it's not I want to go after the money or we bank 50k in 50 days, or I just want to give in the world. We want to have that energy exchange. So I've done a version of this routine for a while, but I haven't done the bank 50k in 50 days publicly like that, like set for my masterclass, like set it, like let's go, this is how we're going to do it. Go into the online training portal in the Soul Legacy Academy, you'll find the Soul Income Game, you'll find all the links to everywhere. I've really set it up where I'm walking my talk, doing it first, and then setting the stage for you guys to do it. In that is like, let's use the intentional living codes, these 7 freedoms, to really manage as light workers, manage our lifestyle and manage our light work, and just be accountable for really contributing in the world, really leveling up in business, and doing that in ease, grace, and flow. So I say newish routine because I'm really monitoring what's working, what's not working, what I need to adjust as part of my daily rituals and routines. So it's newish as in, yeah, it's newish is in that. So Robin says, I love how you've embraced the ish. Oh, is that why you said ish? Yeah, newish. I used to say that, but Robin says, when we do our rating, did you do your rating already, Robin? Yeah, no, you didn't. When we do our rating for the day, we're seeing how high vibe we are. And part of the spiritual journal, if you don't know, is rating our freedom frequency. We know that using the law of attraction, yeah, I'm going to attract all the things, but really underneath that is our vibration, the low vibration. So every single day on the Soul Legacy TV, we rate how we feel, how high vibe we feel, whether we're in soul funk or whether we're in soul flow. And last week I was more in soul funk for me, still high vibing, but for me. And obviously that was to do with my hormones. And I'm like, really, is it? So now I'm like, let me track this, because I didn't do all of the workouts that I wanted to do. I didn't eat the way that I normally do. And I'm very self-disciplined. And it's like that feeling of, obviously it's emotional freedom, that feeling of, well, like I didn't do as well. I didn't beat myself up. Like I usually give myself grace, but I didn't give myself as much grace because it felt like it came around earlier. I wasn't prepared. Now I'm like writing it down, tracking it and putting it on the calendar and asking everybody around me, tell me when it is. My daughter's, obviously she's 19, and obviously females in the house, all the things, we used to sync with each other. And she's like, Mum, just get the app and it can monitor even the times when like you're doing this and doing that. I'm like, I'm not doing that right now. I'm single. She's, yeah, but you can monitor the time. I'm like, Mia, thanks for the reminder. It's funny. So, you know, hormones are a real thing. And so I've had the effect of that, which has not been crazy. However, it's moved the needle for me, and it's moved the needle in terms of my energy and what I've eaten. And that affects your vibration, your fuel, how you're fueling your body, what you're eating, what you're drinking, all of the things. So spiritual business success for me, the emotional freedom, if you know of Abraham Hicks's emotional scale, you'll know that we want to vibrate at love and freedom and joy and empowerment and knowledge and all the things. And I really do feel like I need some more knowledge. I'm very aware of my body, some more knowledge on just how those hormones affect your body and why. I'm like, why? If I know why, I'm like, okay, I get it. And I can put that. So I was tracking more so the perimenopause and different things. But for me, it's that cycle. Like, I don't know about the perimenopause. It can last like years and all the rest of it. It's that cycle coming around, whether the cycle's shorter or longer or all the things. So I just wanted to share that with you. It was a lot, but I wanted to share it with you because I think we just need to. Just come out and say, and the guys in our world, our daughters, we're modeling that, right? We're launching, leading, and leaving our soul legacy, and we're doing it emotionally, right? Oh, how many times when you've come through that awakening, you know all of the emotions, all the things that you went through as a child, triggered, trauma, and being aware, you know, some people that were not aware of our hormones and all that, because this is not new, right? Our awareness is new, and articles and videos out there. It's always existed. But I don't think there was as much acknowledgement. And so I'm modeling for my daughter, and she's like, and I said, you know, I was cool when you were growing up. And she said, yeah, apart from that time. And I remember I used to go, you know, that face when you're like, and she said, when you're like, I said, maybe the one time, but I'd go down to a level and I'd be really intimidating. And I worked in childcare since I was 14, so it's just a big no-no. You don't do that. And I'd catch myself in that moment and I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I would apologize. But still, you know, that's not an excuse. That's a real, like, my daughter's 19 and we're really close, and we go out dancing and we do all those things. I'm not saying we've got an awful relationship, because we haven't. We've got a beautiful one. However, if it wasn't for the hormones, then sometimes you don't act a certain way, or you miss how you're acting. You miss how you're treating your loved ones, or you don't feel like you're doing your work in the world, or whatever it is. So let me know, and journal, Emotional Freedom Wednesdays, how that affects you, how your hormones affect you, how other people's hormones affect you, how your feelings affect you, wherever you're vibing today, and just vibing high. So my emotional freedom rating frequency is an 11. So we rate between a 1 and 11 every single day for every area. And what we do is we focus on the freedom of it, the vision of freedom for each area of your life, what that means to you. We do that in the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge. If you've not done my Spiritual Vision Board Challenge, I'll leave it in the cards and in the description below. The vision that you have for doing your light work in the world, you might have fear around that. You might have you might be really super happy around that. How does it make you feel? Your vision for your health, your vision for your emotions, if you felt like low or had depression or anxiety or all the things, obviously you want a vision for yourself and to pass down, or people around you, whatever that is, you know, your family, your lifestyle. What vision do you have for yourself and for your family emotionally? And I know that there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors. People put on this false face, and especially on social media, and it's like, really, I feel this kind of way. So you can write in your spiritual journal. I'll give you prompts about being grateful for where you are and all the things, but sometimes you just acknowledge the way that you feel. I talk about the freedom and the vision and values and the vibration of your environment, how that makes you feel. How does your environment make you feel? I always look around. I'm in my living room on my sofa. I did have a chair here. It's over the opposite side of the room that I used to do my lives on when I was doing them on Facebook. And I was like, let me just move my whole entire, I moved my living room around anyway. So I could just be comfy and I could sit and I could just chill rather than sitting on the edge of a chair that made me feel uncomfortable. After a while, and my arm would hurt. I'd have my selfie. I didn't use my selfie stick. So now I'm just sitting here more comfortable and happy to do the live. In your relationships, how are you feeling in that? Like the vision that you have for your relationship, freedom, right? Do you feel like you have freedom with your relationships? Freedom to speak your truth, freedom to leave a relationship, or just not engage as much if there's toxic people around you. How do you feel about your relationships? How do you feel about your spirituality? How connected do you feel? How do you feel about your finances? Money blocks, like 50K in 50 days. She crazy. So how do you feel? We rate every single day, and we rate between a 1 and an 11. 1 again is so funk, like like I'm not having a good day. Like I'd rather just go to bed than have my day. Don't rate a 0 because we're breathing. You go to bed for the day, but like don't go to bed for the week, right? You can have those moments, or go cry in the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, or just take a 5-minute breather. Part of the Soul Legacy TV is finding those rituals and routines that support you. And the book that I began with at the beginning of the week was Atomic Habits. So if you have habits that are not that are bad habits, let's say, not supporting you, or they're bad habits but they feel good in the moment, like smoking, drinking, to manage those emotions, we want to be replacing those with good habits. And sometimes when we replace them with good habits, better habits, then we feel a dip in our emotions. We're like, oh, do you know what I mean? So we want to rate how we feel, especially if you've removed some coping mechanisms, how you feel. 1 being, ugh, I'd rather go to bed. And 11 feeling, yes, I'm connected. I feel like a badass. Like my vision is, I'm manifesting. I'm on point. I see signs from the universe. Feel my nudges. How do you feel? And that was a real long-winded way of saying rate your emotional freedom in just how you feel in general. And if there's a area of your life that dips, we rate your emotions today, but we rate each other area throughout the week. So how do you feel about how you feel? And I've written an 11. So Robin has on the Energy Healing TV, she talks about chakras and the 7 main chakras that are aligned with your spine and clearing energy. So however you feel, you might be able to like make a choice and just turn things around. You might release the hormones, note the hormones, journal about the hormones, or you might actually have thicker layers of emotions, trauma, triggers. I don't deal with all of that. I acknowledge it and I can share what I've been through, my awakening, grief, loss, a lot of it. Robin supports you in it's solar plexus energy Wednesday healing. She'll support you in just tuning into the energy that you have in each of your chakras and clearing it, healing it, releasing it, letting it go, in all the ways, the magical ways that she helps you to do that. So if you haven't subscribed to Robin's Energy Healing TV podcast, then, you know, go over there and do that. So how are you feeling? I reckon Robin's rated her because I've ranted on for like ever. Robin says, thank you. We missed you, of course, but I'm glad you got some rest. Thank you, love. Yeah, so I missed the collective energy clearing call. I think the best thing that I can do is just take care of me. I was watching a webinar, which it wasn't, I think it was about an hour before the call. No, maybe a half an hour before the call, and that was it. And it was like, so the call is at 9. No, it was a couple of hours before the call. Why am I thinking that your call is at 7 for me? It's at 9 for me. It's about 6:30. It's not even past 7 o'clock for me. And I was out. That was me. I woke up because I have like broken sleep. I don't sleep all the way through the night. I haven't since I had my children. And my son would have been 27. He made his transition 7 years ago. That was part of my awakening. That's part of me doing what I'm doing with the Soul Legacy Academy. If you don't know, I dedicate my work to my son. So emotions are a big thing, you know, and managing your emotions, being here and smiling and talking to you is a big, huge, hairy deal for me. When I know that I need to take care of myself, I just do, and I just allow myself. So I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, I missed the call. But I'm glad you had a good call. So Robin's Emotional Freedom Wednesday is an 11. Yay! So we have what I call the 7 freedoms. This is Emotional Freedom Wednesday again. I call that the 7 freedoms just for short, for intentional living, in alignment with your vision, your values, and your vibration again, raising your vibration every single day. And Robin says her emotional freedom frequency is an 11. That is like as high-fiving as we get, right? So Robin, you know that I'm going to ask this. So if you are new to me, if you're not new to me, then you kind of will watch this and you're like, yeah, I got it. I'll ask Robin, I'll ask you if you know, if you've done this with me and you did this with me last week, if you've seen a video, was your emotional freedom frequency last week higher or lower or the same as this week? Now, as part of my Soul Legacy journal, and the beautiful thing is rating and journaling on every single area of our life, we get to what I call tune and track our vibration as we do our Bank 50 Game 50 Days challenge. Anything that you want to manifest in any single area of your life, whatever it is, I didn't make the universal laws up. That's just the way it works. We have to understand that in clearing our energy and in focusing on what we actually do desire and what we want to actually manifest, that's how it manifests. So this is really a process for the Soul Legacy Journal for you, not for me, like, oh, I'll just join Iona, like for the fun of it. It's for you to manifest. And how you think and how you feel is that gateway to manifestation, right? To bringing whatever it is into physical form. Our thoughts and our feelings have energy. We are energy. Everything's made up as energy. We know that. So how high vibe you feel in any area. So one of the things that I love to explain is however you felt last week is fine. However you feel this week is fine. And we want to set the intention to raise our vibration. So just note down what you felt last week. So my vibration for last week was my emotional freedom frequency. The rating was 9. So I'm up by 2. I know why it went down, but it also went down because I was coming up for this cycle for my hormones. When I was triggered, I've mentioned it already, I just got a message from my soul daughter saying, you know, Mumsy, I think I'm going to need to come home. My tenancy's ending. There'll be a gap. And that would affect not only the household, but my environment, this Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. So it threw me. It was like, it just happened just before my live. So I didn't have time to process or segment into my live in the way that I do in Ease, Grace and Flow. So I shared it on my live. That was on the Tuesday, but I'd already felt like high vibes. So it actually stayed with me for a couple of days until I made the decision of saying that's not the best thing. And so I knew what it was, but it threw me because the hormones played a part in that. And my hormones played a part in that, which stuck with me for a good few days, a couple of days, like 2-3 days. And I was like, so that's why I say managing your emotions. And so all areas of your life, whatever you are thinking and whatever you are feeling. So when say we're focusing, let's say finances, we're focusing on banking 50K in 50 days. If you have money blocks, and by the way, Robin has a 5-day money blocks clearing challenge, and she calls it a journey, a self-love journey to financial freedom for empaths and light workers, right? So we've developed that. Robin works with me as our lead soul guide instructor. We're soul sisters, deep friends. So we've been going back and forth with our own money stories, how we're leveling up, all the things. So Robin's developed this 5-day course to help you clear so you can do the Bank 50K in 50 days. So we all can do the Bank 50K in 50 days. So thank you, Robin. With Ease, Grace and Flow. So say finances, if you feel blocked in that area, like real deep emotion, even if you don't feel like you do like on a daily basis, if your bank account doesn't say what you want it to say, like Bank 50K in 50 days, then there's something there energetically. Doesn't mean to say if you're doing things to move towards it and you don't hit it in the 50 days, things aren't coming to you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying being open to give and receive, and you feel good in flow about it. Say if you only focused in your Soul Legacy journal about finances every single day, you're stressed about it, worried about it, that would block other areas of your life. And so Abraham Hicks talks about Jerry and Esther Hicks when they developed their work, like unblocking. So when you think about one area, it clogs the other areas, you know, that you've got resistance around. But when you think of another area, say, I don't know, relationship, say you've got children or like a spouse or like grandbabies or nieces and nephews or a soul daughter, whatever, godchildren, whatever relationship clients, whatever, soul tribe, really light you up, you're focusing on that, that unblocks other areas, including finances, because you're focusing on that. So one of the reasons why I developed the spiritual journal and the 7 freedoms was so that we get a chance to focus on other areas that we break down our life, right? Kind of like we did when we went for a spiritual awakening, then we put it back together again, the way that we, by design. But when you're putting it back together again, because we're focusing on different areas every single day, you almost, you give a sense of relief for the other areas. So today it's about emotions. Yes, we are checking in to see where we're vibing. But yesterday was health freedom, right? So if you're working on your health, you're focusing on your health, you're not focusing on your finances, but you're raising your vibration anyway. Does that make sense? So Fridays, so you're focusing on, like I went out for a meal with my friends and stuff. You could focus on finances. You could focus on, oh gosh, you know, I'm paying for this meal. You could bring up and you could bring health into that. Like, what am I going to choose to be healthy? We bring all the freedoms in every single day. But the point being is, when we pay attention, we tune and we track each area of our life, we'll notice that other areas come up. So Robin, you've got an 11. Did you have 11 last week? Is that like vibing high? Like, what difference did you make, or what things did you do, or where did your mind and your thoughts and your feelings go for that to be an 11? Is it an 11 just today? This is for you, not just Robin. Is it an 11? So journal on this. Just notice you're tuning or you're tracking your vibration, but you're seeing where your daily rituals and routines for that spiritual business success are, what is working, what is not working. So I know last week, hormonal or not, when I was setting to do my insanity, it wasn't at the right, my workout, it wasn't at the right time of the day. So yesterday I was like, I'm gonna do it at a different time today, and it worked. And I felt better doing it than I did not doing it. Obviously that release of my hormones would help as well. So hopefully that made sense. Up from last week, yay! So amazing. So anything that you did, if it isn't broken, don't try and fix it. So like what you did, notice, Robin, and everyone else who's watching on the replay, notice what you did differently the week before to get to the emotional freedom, like what it was, right? What you did, what you didn't do, who you were around, who you weren't around, and what your environment was like, whether it was clean, whether it's tidy, whether, bring all of the freedoms in terms of, did you contribute in the way in your light work or your lifestyle? Did you look after your health? Did you eat the way that you wanted to eat, that you set the intention on your vision board to be the version of you want to be? Do you know what I mean? Like, really note down in your spiritual journal. I feel tickles on my head. Did you do your spiritual practices? All the things, what worked, and when it works. That's why I'm high vibe. A lot of the time people are like, well, it doesn't feel so good to be high vibe all the time. I'm like, I like being happy, and I like being in its grace and flow. I appreciate the contrast when it comes, but like, is the purpose of life not to be happy and joyful and in love with yourself and feeling empowered and feeling that, not all the things, right? I'm just saying. So Robin says, crazy, isn't it? Real, but crazy how the hormones can bring up rage. And I was like, yeah. And I try not to make major decisions around this time, but I will say, whatever has hacked me off for the month in between, when I've managed my emotions, whatever's hacking me off that week, that day, usually it's for a little while, I will bring up and I will surface and I'll say, hey, this is not working for me. I'll communicate that is a frustration for me. Whereas when I'm not hormonal, I might be a little bit more quiet about things. And people say that when they're hormonal, it's like, I've said all the things that I don't really mean, blah, 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 and try and eat their words. I'm like, no, that I really mean it. So I don't argue, very rarely. If something is, you know, family first, it's like somebody's, you know, coming for that, I've got that mama bear and I will take you down. However, I'm not like that. I'm not argumentative like that. I say what I feel. I don't feel the need to argue and communicate in that way, but I will definitely, under no terms, let you know how I feel. So thank you, Robin. Love it. So with our spiritual journal, I spent quite a lot of time on that because it is emotions and understanding our emotions. I want to share with you gratitude. I will pull the card for the day in just a second. And again, I ask for, if you're new to me, I ask for that emotional freedom, whatever freedom I'm focusing on that day. This is for me. It's for you as well. We rate our vibration in accordance to our vision for our life. And the Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency is about contributing in the world how we want to and receiving the finances. In the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge, I will talk about the vision that you have for that, what you want to do with the money, why you want that money. In the at the end, as part of the spiritual journal, I will give you the Soul Legacy Journal. Gives you £1,000, dollars, or euros, or wherever you are, your currency, in vibrational money. I'll give you the quote in just a second. I'll do the card. We talked about Robin's chakra healing. I bought some chakras, so crystals, when Robin was doing a 7 days to unblock your chakras challenge on our YouTube channel. So I bought those. So today's chakra crystal is green aventurine. It's solar plexus healing Wednesdays on in Robin's World. And this crystal, I'm going to turn to the back because Robin told me what they all meant, and I put sticky notes at the back of my journal so I would remember. And so Wednesdays, it's solar plexus again. And the green aventurine is good fortune, opportunity, and confidence. So I'll usually do just a ho'oponopono and just bring myself into the space to do my life. Talk about gratitude, because we all want to do that, have gratitude, right? And then I'll talk about the book for today. So quote for today, then the card. So the quote for today, I thought I didn't write it down. This is by Bill Ney, I believe his name is. Everyone you will ever meet knows something you don't know. Everyone you will ever meet knows something you don't know. I love that. You know, when some people think, I know all I need to know. My ex used to say that. He was like embarrassed that he used to say that. I know all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. And when we met, I'm like, dude, I'm always learning and growing every single day. I can't imagine somebody actually saying that and being serious, but he was at the time he said. I'm like, oh, wow, I know all I need to know. That's what just popped into my mind. But everyone you'll meet, I suppose you learn from everyone anyway, but just that knowledge and feeding your mind. Everyone you will ever meet knows something that you don't know. I love the engagement that we can have with the YouTube videos or books or all the things. We're always learning. There's our thoughts are energy. We catch the thoughts when we vibrate at a certain frequency. We catch the thoughts of others. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we don't know all we need to know. I'm just saying. So let's do the card for today. I'm looking down and thinking what else I want to share. I'm going to share the card for today, and then I'm going to share the book that I've read for today, which is Matt Kahn's Whatever Arises. Love that. Have you heard of, I know, Robin, you have heard of Matt Kahn's Whatever Arises. Love that. Every single day, I will listen to an audible book or read a book and share that knowledge, because every person that we meet or the book that we read is something that we might just catch on to and use that. So whatever arises, love that. So I love it. So this is a card deck, Oracle card deck by Carl Gray, Keepers of the Light. And this is the card. I shuffle the cards as I do every day, and whatever jumps out is for today. So it's Emotional Freedom Wednesday again. Let me see how to pronounce it. Is it Kuan Yin? Kuan Yin. It's with a Q. I don't know. Kuan Yin? Kuan Yin? Kuan Yin? This is Care and Compassion. Thank you. Is that beautiful? That's gorgeous, isn't it? Can you see that? Care and Compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. Is that beautiful? Emotional freedom, care and compassion. Every day we just get the card. I'm like, yay, thank you, Keepers of the Light. Thank you, Carl Gray. Choose to be love. Do you choose to be love? Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. Offer a helping hand where it's appropriate to offer a helping hand. As a light worker in spiritual business, we don't lean over to the point where we're suffering. We're in service. I say showing up, speaking out, and serving deep, and offer a helping hand in a way that doesn't bite off your own hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, and offer a helping hand to those that are grateful. I believe that there's boundaries around that. And so I've been doing the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, and I've been reaching out, and I'm just getting in the flow of that. And it's just been amazing. And somebody, you know, I'm offering a helping hand with my masterclass in the Bank 50K in 50 Days. And somebody said, you know, like on LinkedIn, when it says they've got like automated, not automated, like options, and like thanks, no thanks. Somebody said no thanks. And I was like, emotional freedom. This was today. And then I sent a voice message saying, no worries, blah, blah, blah. And she explained. And I was like, oh, what a beautiful message. Thank you. Like, whatever arises, love that. That's what Matt Kahn says. Whatever arises, love that. Be love. So if you're being love and you're doing your work in the world, no matter what happens, you have care and compassion. And the lady was busy and she said, I love what you do. And but I know that my plate is like at the limit and I'm traveling and I'm doing all the things. And I'm like, what a beautiful connection. And the way that I set my business up, I'm like, I will be here anyway. There's no scarcity. It was lovely to be love in that moment, to just be loving. So Kanyin, or I don't know, Kanyin, I think, Kanyin, I'm going to say, sorry, is I can't say that word, Buddha-like being and the goddess of mercy, compassion, and love. Though she's acknowledged in Buddhism and the traditions of China, she goes beyond religion and warms the heart of all who call on her. It's cool. She has a strong connection to healing energy, in particular Reiki. Robin will resonate with that. Robin's a Reiki master teacher. And encourages people to offer care, forgiveness, and compassion to themselves and others, to ourselves as well, right? Compassion is all about recognizing the spirit in others. It's about seeing that they come from the same source as you do. And sometimes we forget that, especially online, especially when we don't want to be visible. We want to do our work in the world. We want to do all these things. But in the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, I'm saying go out there and offer a helping hand. But if somebody doesn't want that helping hand, then that's okay. And they're not mean and horrible and what have you. It's just not aligned. It is beautiful, isn't it? It's about seeing that they come from the same source as you do. And I will be checking in on Emotional Freedom Wednesday and listening to Matt Kahn's book, Whatever Arises, love that. And loving that more, actually choosing not to be in my twin flame union. It's been it is 6 months this month. And I know that I've not vibrated at the same frequency as I did before having that relationship. And I don't think that I'll ever go back to before because I've stretched. And I feel like I was expecting myself to go back before that, in many different ways, and including emotionally. And that's just not going to happen because I've grown. So remembering people come from the same source that you do, yeah, that's really big for me. That just popped into my mind. Relationship Freedom Friday. Robin says, I love that we come from the same source. Yeah, we do. And I love that. However, when things are not going swimmingly or don't go the way that we think, we thought, oh, you know, I'd be in this forever. And it's like, I want to have a healthy ending to this cycle. And it's not as healthy as what you would like it to be. Not super unhealthy on my end, but you know what I mean? And it's like, you don't necessarily feel like everybody comes from the same source as you do when the humanness kicks in. We forget that, you know. In all honesty, write down in your spiritual journal if somebody comes to mind where you're like, okay, I've not seen you as I did at one point and I haven't done as now. So I will be journaling on that. Extended message. First of all, the keepers of the light, we want to acknowledge all the service and commitment you have offered to others. Exactly. When you're leaning over and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving, and it's like, okay, you know, you are all love. If you are finding it difficult with anyone at the moment, so I haven't read this today. If you are finding it difficult with anyone at the moment, the best way you can move forward is to go beyond wanting to understand why or how they are the way that they are. Boom. Just move beyond their behavior, mistakes, and challenges. Oh, can I get an amen? Aligned with the card. Thank you very much. There you go. I'm going to read that again. You are all loved. I'm going to read all of it again. First of all, the keepers of the light want to acknowledge all the service and commitment you've offered to others. That's huge for me. You are all love. If you are finding it difficult with anyone at the moment, the best way you can move forward is to go beyond wanting to understand why or how they are the way they are. Just move beyond their behavior, mistakes, and challenges. This card brings a message of friendship and care, helping you to see that those around you do have the best intentions, even if it doesn't always seem that way. I can think of a dozen people that come to mind where I'm like, okay, I could shift that. Yeah, about a dozen. Move into compassion and develop a greater understanding. This will elevate your spirit and connection to love. So that's really beautiful. And the reason why I can think of a dozen is because when I was building the spiritual businesswoman network, is like, oh, I encountered friction between women. I think sometimes when a lot of women are in a pool and a space, it's like, oh, okay. And so I changed to the spiritual biz YouTubers network because I wanted to do my best work in the world. And I know that I want to support a certain kind of woman who is a conscious woman, who is a very intentional woman, who wants to actually make the difference in the world, who has a movement inside of them. That's my ideal soul tribe, a woman and a man. So I moved out of just the space of, oh, well, a woman. I want to support men as well because I believe in supporting families, not necessarily women who are scared of being around men. I know that women have traumas and triggers, but I wanted to be around women that acknowledge that it's not just that feminine energy, that masculine energy, and support our men as well. They're our sons, they're our sons, our grandsons, our nieces, our nephews, all the thing. I'm not saying I have to be the one, but I quickly boxed myself into um, a building a community that wasn't going to be in alignment with my bigger vision. And I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel as good as what I thought it would feel. And I had to pause and transmute that energy and come back with, and it was a difficult thing to do. It wasn't an easy decision. However, Emotional Freedom Wednesday, we've got to do the things. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And I do mean that. That's my values. That's my vision. My values. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And the platform that I was on was Facebook at the time, which is wonky as anything. Robin says, exactly. It's a humanness that presents differently. Thank you. I'll be back for the parts that I missed. Love you, billions. Oh, love you, billions. And so that code right there, that purple heart is for my son. And the billions is Robin and I have a mastermind retreat called I'm Diamond Made. And we say it's a soul guided millionaires in the making. So diamonds in the rough, like shine bright like a diamond, my son used to say. And that just comes to mind. And so love you, billions. And then I had the thought as I'm doing the bank, before I started the bank 50K in 50 days challenge, was to do, so the mastermind retreat is in Thailand annually, the third week in May, all being, well, and that's the vision. And then I was like, oh, wow, billionaires in the making. So I'm Diamond Made, billionaires in the making of a 7-star retreat in Dubai. And I know there's not 7-star hotels. However, somebody named a hotel a 7-star hotel because they didn't think that the 5-star did it justice, and it happened to be in Dubai. I was like, oh, billionaires in the making. So just that little, the emojis, it just makes me smile. And so Robin and I usually, would say, I love you bunches or love you millions like you do. And it's like, la, love you billions. So thank you, Robin. Love you billions too. So card done. Gratitude we will do after the book, Whatever Arises. Love that. So have you ever heard of Matt Kahn? His book is called, again, Whatever Arises. Love that. Let me see if I've written down the title of the book. I did that last week. It's A Love Revolution That Begins With You, I believe, is the full title. I want to just acknowledge that it is Matt Kahn. I was listening to it last week. It's A Love Revolution, A Journey That Begins With You. I wrote it down. So Love Revolution, whatever arises, love that. Do you, there's a lot of love, right? So Robin says, source being the highest, way beyond the humanness. Exactly. So Robin says, I love that we come from the same source being the highest, way beyond the humanness. Exactly. It's a humanness that presents differently. And so whatever arises in our humanness, love that, right? The love revolution begins with you. And so in my spiritual vision board challenge, part of the Bank 50K in 50 days, setting the vision for you to have whatever experience that you want to have in your life. When we often level up, so I was reaching out on LinkedIn and there was a spiritual YouTuber on there that I want to connect with. And she said, she was leveling up, nothing to do with me. She doesn't know me yet. And she's, whenever we're leveling up, the hero's journey, I've heard of the hero's journey, but I haven't actually looked at the book or the story of it. And she says that when you decide to level up, it says that there's stuff that will come up that will present itself, the humanness side of us, and the humanness side of other people, whatever happens. But whatever arises, love that. So why should we love that? Like, because if we don't love it, then we're in resistance. And when we're in resistance, we're at a lower vibration. When I talk about the emotional freedom frequency, love, joy, empowerment, knowledge, all the things, and freedom, versus at the lower emotional scale, which is fear and grief and powerlessness and victimhood, right? Which we all feel and we have the contrast of, and that's okay. But would we be feeling powerless if whatever arises, love that? Now you might be thinking, for grief, it's like, oh, you're gonna love that, are you? I have learned to understand the losses, and if I had not been on this journey and gone through my spiritual awakening, I would not be sitting here. I can't say that I loved my son passing, whatever arises, love that. But I can say that I can love my life and I can be as happy as I can be without him being here. Do you know what I mean? So whatever arises, love that is a journey. So Matt Kahn was talking about being an empath and feeling emotions and feeling the emotions of others in our body, and just knowing that it is the emotions of others. And so for me, anyone that I have in my environment, it really matters. And that's one of the reasons why I'm single, is because I do feel other people's emotions. I am an empath. I didn't know that. And I've got to be in, and even more so now, I've realized for me, for my own peace of mind, I would rather be single than feeling a certain way. If something doesn't make me feel amazing, I'm just not doing it. So I talk about spiritual dating, and I'll talk about that on Friday. And awakened soulmates, I've got to have that consciousness, that level of consciousness match me. It doesn't feel good to have, for me, being a conscious woman, to have fake conversations, like just trivial stuff. I'm a very deep person. And so I want to have conversations and soul connections as I'm reaching out with people that have similar values. Yes, you don't have to be around everyone that has the exact same values as you, but for me, it doesn't make sense to put myself in situations and feel the emotions of people as an empath that doesn't make me feel good, because you're vibrating, you're going down the emotional scale. You learn to build a muscle, but why do you want to vibrate at a lower frequency? I don't know. So Matt Kahn was talking about when he was younger, he was seeking the approval of others, like that approval, thinking that other people, to validate his existence, like other people, and I'm paraphrasing if I don't get it completely right, like when feeling other people's emotions around him, he was like, is it me? And he says, he said this, what did he say? And I was like, oh God, I felt like that. It's like, are you mad at me? So it, not in the last relationship, the one before that, I'm like, are you mad at me? That emotional intelligence wasn't there because of childhood, right? And that emotional intelligence, the level that he has now, is completely different. Like night and day. He said himself, like his emotions are not so many highs and lows. It matters who you're around on a daily basis. And people say, oh, you know, this person's narcissistic, this person's toxic. But we are responsible for managing our own emotions, and that's all we can do. And if you're around something that's causing sadness, that's causing you to be angry, causing you to be, then it's about clearing that energy, and Robin will support you in clearing that energy and removing yourself from those situations, which doesn't feel nice all of the time, even if it's temporary. Especially as we're doing the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, part of me working out, doing the running, doing the eating, is to fuel my body. We are what we eat. We are who we think, what we believe ourselves to be, our own self-image. And the experiences that we have in our life, in our business, in our light work, and our lifestyle depend on what we're doing on a daily basis and who we're doing that with. And having people that hold us accountable to be the best version of ourselves, if they're not going to be the best version of themselves, then it makes it even harder for you to be around them. For me to be around people that are not willing to be the best version of themselves. Do you know what I mean? And that's not perfection, but doing it with ease, grace, and flow. So I didn't rush. I didn't go, well, I've got 6 minutes from after my live till from after my workout to my live. It's not perfection. I don't rush. I do things in ease, grace, and flow. So I'm like, let me just show up in my workout stuff, because I'm going to go for a run anyway. Then I'm going to hop on Robin's live. So it's what it is. And I work from home. Nobody's staring at me apart from you right now. Excuse me. So I know Robin's an empath as well, or resonates with being an empath. I know people like labels and stuff, but it helps us actually understand who we're being in any given moment and why. I like to have that level of understanding, knowledge, right? Vibrating. Matt Kahn was talking about having that vibrational codependency. I don't know if you've ever heard this, Robin, watching on the replay. Vibrational codependency. I was like, oh, that's the first time I've ever heard of that. So Robin talks about codependent relationships and experiencing them, and obviously you're experiencing certain emotions and triggers and traumas and all the things to be in codependent relationships or codependent on others, whatever. Everybody said to me, I'm too independent. I'm like, dude, whatever. Whichever way you go, doesn't matter. Vibrationally codependent on others. So other people's vibration is going to deeply affect how you are. Right? So have you felt that? So that's all I want to say about your emotions. My friend said to me yesterday, I mentioned that a childhood friend rang me yesterday. I saw her comment on a picture from last year of friends, and the friends that I was in this picture, I met them because of our friendship. We were friends like when we were 13, 14 or something, or maybe even younger. And we hadn't spoken for years, and we were texting. She's like, oh, I can't even. So she rang. We were on the phone for like half an hour, and she said to me, you sound so relaxed and calm. I was like, do I? Because I was like high vibing. We were like screaming and stuff, because that's like the northern way. And my hometown is from Leeds, so we were like, yeah, Leedsness kind of thing. And she said, you know, I was telling, she said, you know what you've been up to? And I said, you know, I've been writing books and I've got a co-author book series, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, wow, you found your thing. So that's how she calls it. Like, she's not, I don't know if she's into spirituality or not. I haven't spoken to her about it, but she's like, you found your thing. When you find your thing, it helps you to just be relaxed and to just sit in that space of knowing that you're contributing in the way that you want to contribute. And she was saying that she was doing her job and working in the hospital and stuff, and how she's done her master's degree and all the things. I'm like, oh, wow, she's still doing in nursing, and she's like, I'm really enjoying it. And it's just really nice that when you find your thing, that you honor the thing and do the thing, and you're able to do the thing. So with the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and the Soul Legacy Academy, if you're watching in the Soul Legacy Academy, I have a 7 Freedoms call-in gym, where we get a handle on all of this, right? We get a handle on your Soul Legacy Journal, writing in your Soul Legacy Journal, handle on all of your freedom. Spiritual business success is not about doing busy work. It's not about being broke, and it's definitely not about being burnt out, right? We want to live intentionally and put the daily rituals and routines in place so that you can come out of the dark night of the soul, and so that you can go on that spiritual ascension journey together as a collective, and so that we can alchemize our gifts and give back in the world and do the thing, find our thing. So let us talk about gratitude and the way that I do it, and then we'll do the vibrational money voucher for the Bank 50K in 50 days. So if you are doing the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge with me, and you've attended my masterclass, or you're about to attend my masterclass, I'll talk about that in a second. So the way that I do the Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency, gratitude, I call it, is to be grateful for each of these freedoms. So every single day, as part of the Soul Legacy Journal and my spiritual journal, I'll give you a prompt, and I'll say, you know, be grateful, write down, you've heard, write down your gratitude. You can speak it into soul speaking into existence. I say, write down in your journal, in your spiritual journal, what you're grateful for. This is your spiritual journal prompt. And so it's about intentional living an intentional life, living in alignment with your values, living in alignment with your vision, and then raising your vibration so that you experience for that vision to manifest. Many people do vision boards. We have the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge. It's 1 week to raise your Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency. Break down every single area of your life. Again, I'll leave it in the cards and in the description. Break down each area of your life, and we focus on one area at a time, one of the 7 freedoms. The intentional living codes. It's your code to raise your frequency so that energy's moving, so that I fast as well, and so that you raise your frequency for your vision to manifest. So the vision, we do the Spiritual Vision Board Challenge together. And if you're in the Soul Legacy Academy, I'll support you in that, but it's free to do it on the Soul Legacy TV. You'll see it in a playlist. Then these journaling days are to support you in that. So we've got a vision board 1 day to do a vision board for 12 months on your contribution freedom. So now the spiritual journal prompt is when you're witnessing that manifest, when you're witnessing, you say, I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate. That's how I do my gratitude. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate. Something to do with my contribution freedom in my light work and my lifestyle. I also bring in, I hold this stone, you can hold yourself, and you can write it down or speak it, whatever, but just being happy and feeling the feeling of it. I will share what I'm happy and grateful for as we go along, but I'll give you the spiritual journal prompt so you can do it. So rather than interrupting your flow, what you're thinking of. And I also bring in, I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate something. You can choose, or you can do all of them, depending on how much you want to bask in the energy and how much you want to write in your spiritual journal. Again, using these prompts, something from the past, it could be something from the present, or it could be something that's in your predicted future, meaning your vision. Oftentimes people think, I don't have anything to be grateful for. Are you kidding? Look how this is going. I don't have any money. I don't have the bills paid. I don't have any clients. I don't have all these things with this spiritual business success, right? This is a way to get into the vibrational frequency of your spiritual vision board, so you're going to need to do your spiritual vision board, then come and journal with me, right? So people say, I don't have time, I'm not organized in my time, I'm blah, 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 blah. But that's the vision that you had set for yourself, dude. That's the vision that you had set for yourself, right? What you believe, what you think, what you feel, your habits, your daily rituals and routines have manifested your life. You believe that we're a co-creator, right? So if life doesn't look and feel the way that you want it to look and feel, now is the time to express gratitude for the way that it does look and feel, and write out and set a new intention for that area of your life. So say, I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate either something in the past that you know that you can be grateful for around your contribution, something in the present, and something in the predicted future that you haven't experienced yet. But in order for it to experience, before it manifests, you've got to feel the feeling of it. So we say gratitude for those things in advance as well. So things that you have on your vision board. For me, for contribution, I'm really happy and grateful that I'm getting to meet new people. And so I reach out in the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge. I'm reaching out on LinkedIn, going back on Facebook. I won't be doing that forever. Our last ditch attempt I came off the platform quite abruptly with the whole Meta and outage. And so I will be shutting stuff down. I'll be shutting groups down, all the things. But I'm reaching out. And so for my contribution, meet new people. So I've set if you don't know, for my Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge, I've really pushed the needle in terms of putting out my YouTube summit, the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit. 42 episodes, October through to April. I'm going to reach out in the next 50 days to get 42 guests, right? So I'm meeting new people, I'm making those connections. That's my contribution. Energy's moving. By that I mean my stomach's grumbling, energy in my tummy's just moving. Solar plexus Wednesday. I've set the intention to do 21 videos on the SoulLegacyTV, not these journaling videos, 50 daily lives, 42 episodes, not actually recording the episodes. It's October through to April. They're live on Binge Watch Wednesdays, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. So I like leverage. I love leverage. I'll do them on 2 days, but I'll have 6 shows and I have 1 guest in each. But eventually I'll probably have 2 guests or even 3, right? I love leverage. 21 videos scheduled out on the SoulLegacyTV and then, recording them. Writing 7 articles. And this is something else. Oh, and getting featured on Summit, TV, radio, podcast, 14 features, right? So that's the intention that I set. So I could say thanks in advance for meeting new people, for meeting new spiritual YouTubers, for bringing people into the Spiritual Biz YouTubers network, all the things. I could say thanks in advance. And I know what it feels like because I built a previous community for the Spiritual Businesswoman Network. I know what the calls feel like. All of the stuff that I've done is proven. The masterclass, everybody loves it. That's for real. They do. Hopefully you'll love it. Do you know what I mean? I feel the feeling for all the past stuff that didn't seemingly go right, that's taught me the lessons for it to go. Do you know what I mean? In my present, in my future. Something for your contribution in your light work and your lifestyle. I'm grateful. I'm super happy and grateful and appreciate that my daughter contributed to our household. That could be on my relationships. She brought me a blanket, a green blanket. It doesn't really match the sofa. However, green is my favorite color, and that's why she bought me. She went out to the shops and just bought me. I'm like, thank you, darling. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate you. Really feel the feeling of it. Use this as your spiritual journal prompt for your health. Again, something past, present, or predicted future. I'm happy and grateful and I appreciate something for your health. So my awareness of my hormones, not even going to lie. I'm so happy and grateful and appreciate the articles that are out there, the videos that are out. I have to put that alarm later because I've gone over my hour, and then I run afterwards. So I'm going to have to put that because that's interrupted. I put it back again, but I'm going to do that after the live. So I'm happy and I'm grateful. I appreciate something in your health, something for your emotions, like being grateful, happy and grateful. If you're, whatever it is, whatever arises, love that. For me, just being aware and being just loving myself, I'm just happy and grateful that I love myself. I love me enough to make really good choices for me on a daily basis and to give myself that time. So I'm happy and grateful, and I appreciate environmental freedom is next. This space, and it's calm. The space that I have to run is like fields and stuff. It's beautiful. I'm a city girl, but I like to go, and this is like, I don't live on a farm or anything like Robin. I'd be really grateful for Robin's farm. Like, although I used to go for the smells and stuff. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate relationships, my daughter, my friendships, my soul sisterhood, Robin, like soul tribe that are coming on the calls, coming in the masterclass. If you're registered for the masterclass, thank you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, thank you. Just love it, thank you so much. Spiritual freedom for manifesting, for actually having an idea of banking 50k in 50 days, for having the idea of the Soul Legacy Journal, for having the ideas come into fruition. Like, I had to feel those feelings first. 7 freedoms, intentional living, doing all the research, doing all the things. I had to have an idea. I got a Fiverr guy to design it, right? This is actually my Soul Legacy Journal, right? Iona made on it. Hello, all of that. I'm actually trashing it, to be fair. The Fiverr guy, I was like, okay, this was an idea. Okay, this is what I like this, and he did it, and I loved it. Everybody loves it. Like, oh, that is a pretty journal. So the Soul Legacy Journal book, the cover of the book series, will look like this too. And this is a quote. I literally use it every single day. This is a quote. Let's do the spiral bar. This is a quote that says, your soul legacy is, I'm grateful for my soul. I'm grateful that I know I'm a soul having a human experience in the dark night of the soul. How about being grateful for the dark night of the soul? Your soul legacy is every life you impact, influence, and impress upon, and every soul client, soul family, and soul tribe you touch. Soul expansion begins with you. Can I get an amen for that? All right. So, last thing, finances, financial freedom. I'm grateful for the money that flows in and the money that flows out, the digital money that flows in and the digital money that flows out. 2 of my friends, when I went out for a meal last Thursday, had cash, and we were all like, the rest of the 6 of us, we were like, you have cash? Oh my goodness. It was just really weird. But seeing cash, I don't often see it. I used to, like, I don't even have a wallet now. I have like my phone case. Yeah, cash. Sometimes I would put like 50. I will do that. I'll go to the bank and get £50 out and put it in my wallet, because I don't even have that. I will do that today. How about that? Remember, cash, digital money, really grateful. Right? So happy and grateful. So our vibrational money voucher, this is a long one because I talked about hormones for so long. So the Soul Legacy Journal is your spiritual awakening story of your spiritual awakening story, that journey. And so part of my journey, I was bankrupt, I was homeless, I was going through a really messy divorce, all the things. It was over a decade ago now. However, I wanted to stand on my own 2 feet. I wanted to be financially sound, right? And so being bankrupt and being homeless, you come from the space of, when I figure this out, I want to have both. So I wanted to have both. It's taken me a really long time to focus on not list building, but legacy building, hence the Soul Legacy Academy. And so part of that is to share with you what it feels like to have money, rather than telling the money stories of rich people are greedy. Or I believe that as soul guided influencers, we need to have more money so we can have that energy exchange. 1, to make memories, and 2, to have that influence, 3, to have that impact and pass on that legacy. So you might want to leave some money for your loved ones. I have my daughter and my granddaughter, my son's daughter, right? That is super important to me. If I'm busy, broken, burnt out, it's not really much good or much use, or a great role model for my daughter. So the vibrational money, the Soul Legacy Journal gives you, it's a special journal, a special spiritual journal that gives you £1,000, dollars or euros, or wherever you are in the world, your currency, excuse me, every single day. So this is part of the Bank 50k in 50 days challenge, the Soul Income Game, I call it. So on my masterclass, I'll show you how to build a successful spiritual business that where you can actually build services and feel good about the energy exchange that you offer in exchange for this money. 10 times the value, I say. If it's not 10 times the value, stop doing it, stop offering it, because you will have money blocks and you will have resistance. I'll talk about it in a second. So this money you have in this vibrational money voucher is yours to spend on making memories with your soul clients, soul family, and soul tribe, right? Because that's why we're here on this earthly plane, to have experiences. When you're coming from that place of lack and a poverty consciousness, life sucks. It's hard. When we come from the space of a prosperity consciousness, we're all connected. So we want to have more prosperity. And being on the physical, in the physical world, this house, this internet, this phone, this contract, this bills cost money. The book costs money, not to actually put on there. But if you want one and you're like, well, I'd like to buy one, but do you get what I mean? Anyway, so we spend it. So there's rules around spending the vibrational money voucher. And if you are in the Soul Legacy Academy, you'll see the image of the Soul Legacy, the voucher for the Soul Income Game. Imagine that. I'm giving it to you every single day. The Soul Legacy Journal gives it to you. In the Soul Legacy Academy, you'll see my Soul Legacy wheel, where we rate each area of your life, and you have that visual of your life like being in higher vibration. And without money, oftentimes we have a lack of how we want to contribute. So we want to do YouTube ads, can't do them when we've got no money. Do you know what I mean? So spend your vibrational money voucher how you see fit, that's going to support you in your spiritual business success and that light work and lifestyle balance. You don't get to spend it on utility bills. I want you to come from the space that your bills are covered. Every single day I'll say this. Every single day it's the same. You want to come from the space that your bills are covered. Imagine feeling that feeling. In order for that to happen, before it happens, you got to feel that feeling. Not that worry, not that scarcity, not that lack, not that poverty consciousness. Poverty and I broke up. Poverty was no longer welcome at my door, right? The next thing is to tithe 10% every single day without fail to a worthy cause. I tithe 10% to a worthy cause. I believe it's worthy for me, is cruise bereavement care. So that's 10%, that's £100, dollars or euros, wherever you are in the world. And so the worthy cause is cruise bereavement care. They are who helped me, sent a volunteer, she's a dear friend of mine now. It's 7 years ago when my son passed. I've had a lot of losses in my life as my spiritual awakening, and life didn't look and feel the same as it did before. Like, life has no real meaning when you've had such a loss, and people go, I don't know how you're still standing, I don't know how you're still smiling, I don't know how you're still living. It was through intentional living. It was through that. It was through this spiritual ascension journey, and this spiritual alchemy is how. And I wanted to give back. So that's 10% to a worthy cause. And then you do this when you get the money in the visible world, right? So do it vibrationally first, every single day. Then you spend the rest of your vibrational money voucher, which is £900, dollars, or euros. If you don't want to spend that every day because you don't want to focus on money every single day, or you want to buy a bigger purchase, I spend my vibrational money voucher every Sunday, and I will share with you on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast what I actually spend it on. So you visualize. So we do our vision board, our spiritual vision board, for a year out. And then the things that you put, some of the things that you put on your spiritual vision board, mine are not really super extravagant. I have the retreat on there, and to travel really is my main goal, as well as have my online teaching platform, all the things, YouTube ads, all the things, those ways to support my spiritual business success. I'm quite a minimalist, but I do like luxury at the same time. So I roll my eyes because I'm like, that's confusing. So do the things, spend the money on the experiences that you want to have that are on your vision board, being in alignment with that for it to manifest. For it to manifest, you have to be in vibrational alignment. So if you want a personal trainer, that's what just came to mind, because I've got my insanity stuff still like my trainers, my sweatband thing that goes, not sweatband, like a band that goes around my belly, but one that goes around my leg because I injured my leg. And the first time in like 8-9 years, crazy. I'm not even going to go into that story, but anyway, just out of alignment, doing my workout, just out of alignment. So anyway, that costs money. It's like, click onto Amazon, boom, I'm waiting to get my makeup, boom, that costs money. Like, click Amazon, thank you, Amazon. Suspend your vibrational money voucher on the things that are going to support you. I want to get merch, so that'll be a purchase I probably will spend on Sunday. Let me write it down in my Soul Legacy journal. This is what I do as part of my journaling. I will write it down. So it's Emotional Freedom Wednesday, Environmental Freedom Thursday, Relationship Freedom Friday, Spiritual Freedom Saturday, and on this page it's Financial Freedom Sunday. I won't do my rating just yet, but I will get merch as part of what I want to spend my vibrational money voucher. So that is it for the vibrational money voucher and the bank 50k in 50 days. Do it every day in your spiritual journal. Express gratitude. And if you want my support, I have the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass, Bank 50k in 50 days challenge, you guessed it, where I'll show you how to speak to, serve, and sign up your soul clients, online, high-paying soul clients. Transition from working one-to-one to one-to-many, passive income streams, leverage income streams, all the things, building a successful spiritual business online and doing it on YouTube as a spiritual biz YouTuber. You've watched YouTubers, you do the same. If you want to be visible, actually get your soul work in the world in front of people that are searching for you. Really excited about that, getting featured, going out there, writing articles, writing your book. I have a free chapter of my book, Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a Soul Guided Influencer's Compass to Leveraging Your Light Work and Lifestyle on YouTube. And I'm not even going to lie, if you're here and it's an hour and 20 minutes, kudos to you, right? So I have a free chapter. With the free chapter, it's on pre-order for a year. Went to #1 on Amazon on pre-order within a week. That's because I set the intention for that, did the actions, know how to do that, can help you do that for you. On pre-order, so I've taken a year. I'm taking a year to write it. I will leave my book launch videos where I'll create videos around the book in the cards. Within that book comes a 5-day YouTube challenge to help you start your YouTube channel. Passive income streams is $55. And have a free preview of that. On the masterclass, I will share how you can work with me deeper. 4-hour training on the masterclass, Bank 50k in 50 days. Also, I have a free chapter VIP day. It's a group VIP day where I will show you how to actually implement or support you in implementing the homework for the masterclass. We have a book, we have a 4-hour masterclass, and we have a 4-hour VIP day. I wanted to contribute in the world just like that because it was when I was broke, when I was burnt out, and so many people were trying to build a list. And I'm like, dude, do not build a list, build a legacy. Your soul legacy is every life you impact, impress upon, and influence, right? Because soul expansion begins with you. 12 times in a year, I do it live. The last Monday of the month, 3 p.m. UK time, is when I do my masterclass live. If it's not live right now, then you can watch the replay. I have bonus gifts for you, all the things. I will leave all of the information to everything that I've talked about in the description and in the comments. I think you are amazing for getting this far and listening to me going on and on and on. I'm going to go for my run and I'm going to go on and listen to Robin's live. Definitely subscribe to Robin's Energy Healing TV and podcast. I love you. I think you're amazing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, invite a fellow light worker in, click the bell notification button to get notified when I go live. I shall see you for Emotional Freedom Wednesday, next Wednesday, and I will see you for the next freedom. I shall speak to you soon. Take care. Big love.